Tell us about the exhibition. Tell us what you saw, what you liked, what you didn't like.
I thought it was pretty good. It's a little ahead of schedule from where I thought we'd be. I'm not talking about scoreboard wise or anything like that. Just kind of knowing what's going on. A little ahead of schedule. Um, Obviously Mac and Pop didn't play, so we're able to play a lot of guys, which will be good for them long term. First half, it was kind of like every game that you play that I've been a part of early in the season. Your first game, everybody kind of tries to do a little too much, so we had too many turnovers. Probably took a couple bad shots, and in the second half we settled down and moved the ball, shot a real high percentage from the field. So I like that. I liked that we got better as the game went along. Defensively, got to lock down a little more in the half court. Got beat off the dribble too many times, and that's got to be a focus for us this season because you can't win if your half court defense isn't pretty dang good. And, we're going to have to get better and better at that. We're not the most physically imposing team, so we have to have, great team defense, and we're not going to be the best team, one-on-one defenders. So our team defense has got to be elite, which is going to require a little bit of time.
You mentioned how you feel like your team's maybe a little ahead of schedule. Just how close do you feel like they are to running the system to the standard that you guys would like?
Yeah, when I mean ahead of schedule, I don't mean, ahead of schedule compared to other teams. I just mean based on practice with 6 guys in the summer, all that stuff, So, I'm realistic. I know what it is, right? Not. Hopefully, this is when we look at this. This is the furthest we'll ever be behind schedule going into game one, in the future. What was that? Sorry, what was the other part of the question?
What I was trying to ask was how close do you feel like you are to your guys running what you want to the standard that you want?
Well, they're starting to get the pace down. And we were able to get to the free throw line a lot of times because we attacked the charge circle really quickly in transition. The urgency on offense to get the ball down the floor was way better than it was when we scrimmaged Rice. And then the urgency on defense to kind of figure out how to force tempo was there. And so I'm going to say that we're getting closer, but we're not where we got to get to. I think when you have more depth, when Pop and Matt come back, you have more depth, you have more shooting. And you can obviously play faster and faster the more depth you have.
When do you kind of expect those 2 guys to come back?
Pop is going to be a game time decision in the first week, so he'll be back. Could play in the first game. Mac will be back hopefully in November. We just don't know when yet.
A lot of times teams bring in 2 or 3 or 4 transfer guys. Of course, y'all had to bring in a lot of guys. What challenges did that present y'all as a coaching staff beyond just on the court, like getting them set up for everything in life around a basketball with that many guys?
Yeah, it's tough. Because there's a lot of that moving parts, and I really appreciate all the people here at A&M that work together. Because just getting a schedule coordinated for classes where they're not, that you can find a time where there's not overlapping. There's not overlap, so you can practice. Right? That's not as easy as you would think when you kind of get people coming in here last second. Even Aladiba comes in here in, August essentially, right? So that was a challenge, finding out where to live, all that. That's just everybody deals with that. But I think that the main deal, and particularly in the second semester, I think we're going to have a really good schedule where we're going to be able to practice, earlier. And I think it's going to really help our guys. Most of the teams that in our league are able to kind of figure out 2 time slots where they want to practice, and our administration's been great figuring that out.
When you have all these new players, new system, 2 key guys maybe out at the beginning, are you kind of grading on a curve a little bit early going of this season, or is the standard going to be, how do you kind of judge what you see?
Yeah, I just think, you can't be scoreboard oriented, and I don't mean that as a cop out. I expect to win every single game we play, so don't want to get twisted that's typical coach talk, you're trying to down. No, I don't mean that. I'm just saying that you can play really good and be on the right track, and sometimes you can play a game the scoreboard doesn't show that, right? I think we got to keep focused long term though, and as long as we're doing the right things, everything will kind of take care of itself. And that's kind of what we focus on. Are we doing the right things? Are we sharing the basketball? Are we having a high number of assists? And are we doing what we're supposed to do on defense? I think that our team, we practiced yesterday, and I watched a lot of tape of the game, of the first half of the game, and like, hey man, this is us not sharing it like we should. And we practiced yesterday. I don't know if I've ever seen a shooting display like I saw yesterday when we practiced. I mean that. It was unbelievable. Like, we'd win a natty if we shot like that, and no one would come within 15 points of us if we shot like we did yesterday. I got some of these stats of it. It's on my phone somewhere. It was crazy, and it was just like up, down, bomb threes. It was unbelievable. And so, like, we'll have some games where we just absolutely look unbeatable. And we'll have some days where those threes are missing, and we're going to really have to lock up on defense.
Do you look at the performance like that in practice and say, like, okay, this is a sign, or like this is a marker for me, or is it some days just to be like that?
Yeah, I mean, every team I've coached since we're high volume 3-point shooting, we've always had games we make 20-plus threes. What I saw yesterday was crazy, though. Like, that was crazy because it was so fast. It was just 4-minute games nonstop, and just pitch head, rip, bomb. You're just like, the whole gym was just like, what's going on? I felt so bad for our defensive coaches because, like, they were just like trying something new, thought they had it figured out, and it just like just drilled them with 3 after 3, you know. No, I think we'll have some days where it looks great, some days it won't. But our strength, we got good shooters. We got to play Team D, though, because sometimes shooters sometimes they're not the best individual defenders, right? Great athletes are usually great defenders. We're not the most athletic team. So it's going to be for us in those moments where we're not banging in those threes, continuing to guard.
What does it mean to have Rayshon eligible, and why was he the pick to be a team captain and a leader for this?
Got the biggest voice on the team. I think he has the team's best interest at heart. He's very competitive. He's an older guy, right? Been around. I think that there's not a selfishness to him. Like, he really wants to win. Like, that's his prime focus is winning. And he's a good person. You know, like, I mean, it's hard to lead. Like, what's the first thing they're going to look at for a leader? Like, or do you practice what you preach, kind of? And, like, he's like an everyday guy. So, therefore, it's easy for him to lead others because they can point to him and say, well, he lives it.
I know him wearing 12 is coincidental. It was kind of his number before he came here. But, he said he's kind of learned, what that number means to Texas A&M. And how have you seen him and maybe other guys on the team where, everyone is new, embrace kind of this culture and just, the 12th man in Texas A&M and
Yeah. So, for a bunch of new guys, like, they didn't know a lot about it when we started recruiting them. I think really going to those football games has really, like, opened their eyes. And I think when they got to go to Midnight Yell, it really, like, opened their eyes. Like, and that's why I really wanted them to go to that, because there's no question when you go to a football game or you go to Midnight Yell, like, hey, buddy, this isn't about you. Like, this place is a lot bigger than you. And this isn't about what they're going to do for you. It's really about, like, how hard you're going to have to fight for them. And you feel that it's pretty easy, right? And I think that as the season goes and we start having a great home game atmosphere and we have a lot of wins together, and it's kind of, student section, fans, players all together, that bond's going to even cement it even further.
How much did maybe bringing in Alex Caruso maybe help to that end as well?
Yeah, AC was great talking to our guys. Just talks about his love for this place. I mean, he says the only basketball he watches in college is, A&M basketball. And, when we have recruits in, or we bring them down the football field for the game, and, Caruso's parents are down there. They talk to him, worked here, Mike did, lived here. So, when AC comes back, comes back here to do his golf tournament, come to our practice gym. So it means something, and he talks, and it's authentic. The love he has for this place, there's a reason for it.
You talked earlier about, watching tape and film. What's the early scouting report for the home opener against Northwestern State?
Yeah, they're athletic. They're good. They played McNeese pretty good till the last 10 minutes of that game last year in the conference tournament. But again, it's their first game. It's hard to gauge things on exhibitions. They're going to play hard, mix up man, mix up zone. I think that you don't really know. You just don't know much from exhibitions. Like, you don't. So it's more about what we got to do and focus on our stuff. And we're more that way anyway. Our style of play is more of that. It's not so much counterpunching, so it's kind of just doing our deal. And we'll take it from there.
Have you received any like text messages or phone calls or advice ahead of your first home game?
No, not really. Yep, not really. But if you got something, hit me up.
As a coach, do you get butterflies or jitters, or how are you feeling, before first game of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I've done it so long in different ways that you just want to play, right? But you really kind of, as the season goes, like basketball is a tournament sport. We know that. And every game matters. We know that. But this is so much about us that the only time that you feel it is when it's win or go home. That's the only time I really feel it, because this, no matter what happens in this next game, this is about us progressing to get better. And I'll always make decisions, even in that game, that may not even be the best for that game. It's just going to be about our improvement. Like, there'll be games like, well, maybe we could sit in a 2-3 zone, and that's going to give us our best chance to win or win by the most. But if we don't feel that's going to be our best chance to win long term, we're going to stay with what we do to get better at what we do. Like, we may give up 25 points on press runouts, but if we feel we're going to play that way, we're going to stick with it. And so because of that, I'm just looking at this kind of like practice. When you get the real is when you're at that tournament time, there is nothing you're going for after that. Like, you're not really looking at anything after that. This is it. So all legs going to this basket. There is no, hey, if we think that zone's going to help us win, we're going to run that zone, right? Because you don't get to play another game to work on your man. So more than anything, I'm excited for these guys to get out there and play in front of this crowd.
A lot of conversation about tournament expansion. Do you have any thoughts on the number of teams that you think are best for the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I like it like it is, 64, or I guess 68, whatever it is. I like that better. I just think it means more. The more you get in, the further it dilutes the field, and how many of those have a chance to go win a national championship. So I like it where it is, and I like the mid-majors being in there, right? And I think you got to fight for it. You got to earn it to get in the tournament. You really got to earn to get in the tournament.
It's clear that continuity is really big in your system. Who's a guy who's maybe played at a more traditionally slow system in the past that you think has made a lot of strides picking up playing fast for you?
Well, I mean, Kansas plays different than we play. They're really, different in ways. I think that Zach really kind of fits getting up and down in his position and not being a slugfest, and he's a shooter. So he likes playing in pace and space, right? And so I think he's adjusted pretty well, as you saw in the first scrimmage, so or in the exhibition game. Others, I don't know. I see a joy in a lot of these guys playing right now. I do see that. I see a joy in them playing, and that's always good. So you don't have that if they feel like they're being beat down, limited, or what they're doing doesn't just fit them. I think Rashawn, you can tell he gets the most winded out there, plays so hard, runs up and down the court 3 times, and he looks like he's about to fall over dead. But he'll get there eventually.
All right, guys, that's all we have
Hey,
time for.
thank y'all.